Hello, alley cats! Unless you've been living under a rock, then you know that Hypixel has finally, 2 years after it was promised to everyone, released the first look at their standalone game, Hytale. Of course, it was just my luck that the first announcement came the first day I was out of town for like a week. We were going to Colorado, but literally the forum post about the countdown to the trailer was made as we were about to make a brief detour on our way to see the Breaking Bad house in New Mexico, which I talked about on my Twitter. P.S. Go follow me. Shameless plug. So anyways, obviously I wasn't able to do any sort of theory or first reaction videos like everyone else who's hopping on the hype train is doing, but I still wanted to talk about the trailer. Even though I was out of town, I still watched it on my phone in the hotel room right when it was released and immediately started taking notes so we can do an in-depth analysis and mention some Easter eggs in the trailer, and we've got a lot to go over. So if you haven't seen the trailer yet, I highly suggest you do before continuing with this video so you can see it fully without my dumb voice talking over it, and I'm gonna be pausing quite a bit for commentary and talking about specific points in the trailer. I haven't watched any other videos about Hytale. I didn't want other YouTubers' videos to influence what I wanted to make here, so I am well aware someone else could have posted a very similar video to this already, and this may not be an original idea. But I still wanted to talk about it, give my thoughts, and go over some things that I found interesting in the trailer. So with that said, let's get right into it. Oh, I'm so excited, you guys. So excited. Yes, we're pausing already just a few seconds into the trailer. I warned you guys we'd be stopping frequently, but anyways, I wanted to mention first off that this game looks excellent. Hats off to the team working on this game. But I wanted to talk about the creative aspect of this game because, as we'll see later in the trailer, there is a creative mode and you can build all over the world, so that brings my attention to this gigantic mountain back here. And I'm thinking if we can build on this mountain, then I wonder just how high the build limit must be, or if there even is one. Of course, we won't really know until more information comes out or until we can get our hands on the game, but it's interesting to think about. Oh, run, bunny, run! This music's so pretty, by the way. I love it. Now, as you guys know, being the filthy casual I am, super competitive and PvP type games are really not my thing. There's plenty of that within Hytale, and again, we'll get to that a bit later, but then I read that players like me, who enjoy more chill and laid-back games, can just hang out in the first area of adventure mode and raise a farm, tend to their cattle, or if they want to, they can go off and become a botanist and start delving into alchemy, or exploring mines and focus on crafting without having to worry so much about combat. So this means we can choose whatever playstyle we want, and I think that is absolutely fantastic. However, from a screenshot on the website, you can see from this little fox in the background eyeing the chickens, even if you go with the most casual route, it doesn't look like it's gonna be all easy breezy, so you'll still have some obstacles to deal with. These character models are adorable, by the way, and there's a puppy! I'm gonna have all the doggos. So this was something I've seen a lot of people bashing Hypixel for and saying that they've basically made a Minecraft 2.0, which might be a little true, but that honestly just makes me more excited to play this game. And something to keep in mind is that Hypixel isn't a AAA game studio, and this sort of thing is their comfort zone. I'm sure as time goes on and they make more games, they'll branch out into an even more unique visual style, but they got their start making adventure maps for Minecraft, and the Hypixel server started out as a place for people to play those maps with friends. This is their first game that they've made completely from scratch. Even the engine that this game runs on, they made themselves. So my point is, don't be so harsh with all this outrage before you've even played the game. Got some crafting here. Oh, and they're going out exploring! Now here we have these brown furry looking creatures over here that I'm pretty sure are sloths. This dude even looks like he's dabbing over here, but this is likely a reference to Hypixel himself, Simon, since he's often shown as a sloth, so I thought that was a cute little Easter egg. And kind of in the same realm as the last Easter egg, this tree creature here, according to the website, is called a Quebec, which may be a reference to the Canadian province of Quebec, where the founders of Hypixel are from. Now, I really like little Easter eggs like this in any game, because it's just a nice little personal touch from the creators, and it's just really nice to see. Lots of places to explore. I really like that. There's something I wanted to point out really quick, because throughout this entire trailer, the cinematography is just wonderful. So at first, I assumed that at least most of this was made in some sort of animation program, like Blender or whatever, but turns out no. According to Ninja Charlie T, the trailer was made entirely 100% of in-game footage, which kind of blows my mind a little bit, and I am so glad they did it that way. So everything we see here is exactly like we will see it in the game itself. And he also said that the world is completely randomly generated. Nothing was actually human built, so it seems like you'll always be in a different world, kind of like in Minecraft, but obviously this looks, you know, better. No shade on Mojang though. Oh, you got some combat here, and they got the shield and sword system like in Minecraft. Oh, I like this. I'm gonna be doing lots of building. So this part obviously stands out quite a bit here because we have the contrast of this bright orange, really fiery sword against this snowy blue background, and based on screenshots on the website, there are many different unique weapons that have their own stats, and each can be upgraded and enchanted, which is really nice to have a lot of variety in weapons instead of just a diamond sword, or an iron sword, or a stone sword, you know, that sort of thing. This guy also looks scary as heck. Oh my goodness. That little castaway island, I like that. Okay, now, you guys know I am a huge fan of Disney and Pixar, so I was so very excited to see Nemo, Marlin, and Dory here in this underwater scene, and I'm not gonna lie, I did have a little fangirl moment. I just thought that was so cute and so neat for them to stick that in there. Just, I loved it. And we actually have some real underwater enemies! Mojang! Ugh. So, this isn't really much of an Easter egg, but it certainly made me laugh, and still is, obviously. Such a serious and intense scene, and then there's one of these little monster dudes back here that falls straight into a hole. I don't know if that was intentional, but it was certainly quite unexpected. Ugh, don't like spiders. So clearly we can see that there's going to be a lot of different enemies to face, and just these guys that we've seen and this little montage here look very scary and vicious. So that gets me thinking maybe they're sort of mini bosses that you find at the end of a quest line or something, or maybe these are even more common enemies, which is extra terrifying, but of course we'll have to wait and see. That's a nice magic staff, though. I like that. I like a lot of things in this trailer. Now, my first time watching this trailer, I thought for sure that these weapons here were actually reused skins from Warlords, because at a glance, they do look similar to weapon skins from that game. This dude's giant, spiky hammer thingy looks a lot like the Tenderizer, but more blue instead of purple, and hers almost looks like a more fancy version of the World Tree branch, but I did check, and they are not the same, though they do look a lot alike, which definitely isn't a bad thing. I don't mind that at all. I always thought the weapons from Warlords looked amazing and reminded me of a medieval fantasy sort of setting, so it would fit in perfectly with Hytale. And of course, when showing off the community aspect of Hytale, they have to have a recreation of the Hypixel main lobby, because just why not? Now we've got YouTubers making an appearance in the trailer here. You can see there's Yogscast back here. There's also Preston Plays, though he's a little more tricky to spot because if you blink, you will completely miss him. But that's pretty cool that they're including YouTubers in here, and there might even be more hidden ones around that either I don't recognize or I might have missed. And I wonder if these are just the skins for these guys, or if they were actually able to play the game for a while. Because like I mentioned, this is all in-game footage. It's not animated. So if they weren't able to play the game already, I do know that everyone with the YouTube rank got an email saying they'll get access to the beta before anyone else. So either way, I am quite jealous. Oh, here we go. This is probably what's getting a lot of people the most hyped, is Hypixel minigames coming to Hytale. You can see here we have Skywars. This looks like probably Blitz. And even Mega Walls. As I said, PvP isn't really my thing, so this doesn't excite me as much as the rest of the game. But for those who do really like these games from the Hypixel server, I imagine they must be absolutely ecstatic for this. Because the problem with the server that people often forget is that for Hypixel, Minecraft isn't their game. They're very limited on a lot of things since they're working with code that doesn't belong to them. They have no control over changes that are made to the game. So not only is that restrictive in a creative sense, but also when trying to make stuff like an effective anti-cheat. But now that they have their own game, Hypixel calls all the shots. They can do whatever they want with the code and make an excellent game while also preventing people from cheating. Players aren't going to have to deal with the lag back because of a wonky anti-cheat plugin, no more closet hackers that bypass the cheat detection. These versions of Hypixel games will probably be so much better than the originals, so I hope they'll be adding a lot more games from the server if they aren't already planned. Please add walls. I think this is League of Legends, or at least something similar. I've never played it before, so please don't string me up in the comments if I'm wrong. But it's always interesting to see an existing popular game being remade, or at least referenced in another game, and apparently, since of course it is their game, Hypixel can pretty much make anything within Hytale they want, like a top-down shooter. So I don't know anything about modding, so I'm not even gonna try to pretend like I know what I'm talking about here and like I can recognize what all this sort of stuff is, but I do think it's really cool that the game literally comes packaged with modding and animation tools to create all sorts of stuff. You know, lots of games, they don't even allow the use of mods at all, like they will prevent you from playing if you try to use mods. So to see Hypixel not only allowing but encouraging users to be creative and morph the game into whatever they want it to be. This is just fantastic, and I think it's a massive step forward in game development on their part. Of course, as we saw before, Hypixel is integrating games from the server into Hytale, so I wonder if, since they have an adventure mode, they could also incorporate at least some of their old adventure maps as well. Personally, I think it would be a good idea since that's what made them successful in the first place, even though they'd definitely have to change some things around, like probably can't include Herobrine in it, but that seems easy enough to replace with some other villain in Hytale. So I think that would be a really good idea for them to pursue. Okay, now, if you don't recognize this adorable little pupper on the screen, this is Henzo, Simon's dog, and I think it's so cute that they included Henzo in the trailer. But as for this whole feature in general of being able to watch things with your friends, it's definitely an interesting concept. Though I'm very curious about how it will work, like if you could just pick any video on YouTube or something and have it show on the screen, but then how would they prevent something inappropriate or graphic from being shown? I mean, I'm sure they've probably thought of situations like this, but that was my first impression during this bit, like, oh, you know someone's gonna try to show very inappropriate videos here. And of course, to satisfy the creative players who just want to build to their heart's content, they also have a creative mode. I know I mentioned earlier about how this is almost like a Minecraft 2.0, but this already seems like it will be so much better than Minecraft. Not to hate on Mojang too much, but we'll finally have a game where developers are adding in features that players want, and they actually listen to the community. They've spent a lot of time making sure, you know, the combat is just right, and adding so many different modes, so everyone has something to do, no matter what their playstyle is. This Movie Maker feature really caught my eye because, as some of you guys might know, if I wasn't working towards becoming a full-time YouTuber, then I'd probably be pursuing a career in film directing. So, seeing this sort of thing, I was like, yes, please, this is right up my alley, pun fully intended. So this is probably going to be one of the first things I try out when the game is released. So I didn't see this initially when I watched this trailer the first, like, I don't know, 10 times because I was watching on a tiny phone screen, but some more perceptive folk have noticed over here in this scripting window, there is a link that says hytale.com/super secret page. And when you go to that link, you get this. A chicken riding a cow. and it says, "Your dedication is impressive. We love you, and so does Turbo Chicken." I don't even really have anything else to say about this. I think it just kind of speaks for itself, so we'll move on. Now, this is something that's one of the most interesting to me because this dragon might look a little bit familiar. And I'm not talking about the Ender Dragon from Minecraft, although it does have like a similar color scheme. Take a closer look at the art on the forums. Obviously, only the Hypixel team can confirm this, but to me, it seems like the picture you see at the top of the forums could actually be concept art for Hytale. Because I don't know about you guys, but aside from a couple small things like the pig here and the villager back here, this doesn't really resemble Minecraft a whole lot. So it didn't quite seem to fit almost when it was first added. Especially this big guy back here. That's definitely not the Ender Dragon. It looks more detailed like the Hytale Dragon. And this art was added to the forums years ago, back in July 2015. So if you had any doubts just how long the Hypixel team has spent planning and developing this game, this should definitely put your mind at ease. And that is the Hytale trailer. I'm sure there's still probably some secrets or Easter eggs I might have missed, so if you found something I didn't, then definitely let me know in the comments. And tell me what you guys think about this trailer and the first look we've gotten at the first game from Hypixel Studios. I am very excited for this. I love RPG games and fantasy games, but especially with remade Hypixel games on it, I feel like this could maybe even negatively impact the server, or even maybe Minecraft as a whole. But it definitely has the potential to drastically reduce the player count on the server, because, you know, everyone's gonna go play Hytale. So what do you guys think? Are you excited for Hytale? Do you think this could possibly lead to the end of the Hypixel server? Let me know in the comments down below, and thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye!